folks. Oh, is that Joe? Oh, anyway. So, welcome along to the Thursday tier season 13, round 9, and we're here today at the Jeddah Corniche circuit. And we're already seeing some laps start to come in here by a few of the drivers. But the talk for this week is going to be between the top two.
Hello. Sorry, I thought my mic was. Yeah, was my mic not working?
Not for a second, no.
Oh, I've had an issue. Apologies, guys. Anyway, I'll leave you over to Lee for a minute.
Yep. So there's a little story going on between the top two drivers here, Paul Jones and Matthew. Paul Jones in the Alfa Romeo has got 187 points right now. Matthew is sitting on 169, just behind, an 18-point difference. So, judging by that, there's going to be, if Paul Jones could get 12 points or more than Matthew here tonight, then he will be able to be crowned the season 13 champion of Thursday. But yeah, Banter Brandon, he's sitting in third with 116. We've got Koyaks on 110, Pipple Kennedy on 106, 96 for Bugatti Sloven, Chuckle on 90, who I don't think is here tonight. And then we've got Prodigy on 90, 77 for Chuck, and 69 for Looney Man. Looney Man, this is apparently meant to be his track, so he's going to be one to look out for. I've had a little bit of insider info, and apparently I think Clay has some pace here tonight as well. In the constructors though right now, Aston Martin sit top with 246 points. So by the looks of it, they could be crowned champions. Alfa Romeo sitting on 200, Williams 170, Alpha Tauri's on 152, McLaren on 133, Mercedes 126, Alpine sitting on 123. 1 point behind them though is Red Bull, and then behind them is Haas sitting on 110, and Ferrari, unfortunately, on the lowest amount is 19. Fortunately, they've not had the best of seasons. So, over to you, Joe.
Yeah, apologies. Can you hear me? I'm not too sure. I'm worried my headphones are dying on me.
No, we can't hear you.
That's fine. No, if I cut out again, please tell me, because I need to buy a new headset because it's been a bit dodgy the last week or so. So I think, anyway, yeah. Apologies for the start, but looking forward to this championship fight. Lee, if you could turn your headphones down a little bit, because I can really hear myself. So I presume that'll be able to be heard on the stream as well. Appreciate it if you could. Yeah, so the championship fight really, really getting interesting now. We spoke about it at the start of the season, the fact that we had a few names in mind, one of them being Chuckle, who again isn't here this evening after being away on holiday again this week. And so he's just out of the running now. Yeah, we had a few other drivers in mind for the run of the title. Matthew was one of those names I think me and Lee sort of floated around with at the start of the season. Paul Jones, however, was not one of them. We're on board with his teammate right now, RTG Lee. He's about to start his first lap in this Q1 session. Yeah, not a driver that we thought, or I personally thought, that would fight for this title, and certainly into the penultimate round of the season be leading the championship by 18 points. Yes, hasn't had a win for a little while. About 4 or 5 races, but consistently been up there in the top 5 and the podium places, which is, we all know from what George Russell loves to say, consistency is key, and he's really showed that in this season 13. And like Lee, it might turn into his lucky number actually at the end of the season. Don't know just yet though. Matthew is clawing back some serious points, and with the charge he's been on, I wouldn't doubt that he will be right up there again tonight. So Paul Jones may have a bit of a headache from Matthew.
Well, looking back at the points here from the season going forward, Paul hasn't really been beaten by Matthew. It's only been in the last 2 races at Australia and Bahrain that he actually beat Paul Jones. And Paul's actually managed to keep in the top 5 through every single race that he has been in. So, just like you said there, consistency is key. We've only seen one person on the doing the intermediates this time out, and Royal Rumble's out. He's crashed out.
Now that is something the AlphaTauri was not expecting to happen this evening. As Lee said, the penultimate round of the intermediates, and Quick's game is the only one taking part this evening, so by default we know he's going to win that with that 132.508. If anyone's joining us and have no idea what we're on about there and not seen any of the season, some drivers in Q1 will be going out on a intermediate tyre, a sort of midway point between a full wet tyre, and they do a lap in the dry conditions, and whoever comes out on top of that day is crowned the intermediate championship winner for that round. Of course, we did have it on Wednesday as well, but of course that's been dropped for this season and in an indefinite period. Hopefully we will get that back, or a third tier on a different day at some point later on, potentially into 2024. Matty Jones on a lap. Another one, Lee, as we're starting obviously to round off the season now and report cards are starting to come in. Matthew, a little unlucky, I think are the words that are coming to mind. Matty Jones, sorry, not Matthew. Too many Matthews in Thursday.
It can be a bit confusing sometimes. Just seen Matthew there putting the fastest lap up to now, 127.363. But yeah, getting back to Matty Jones, he's not the best of luck, I would say, at times. But we could see if that could all change tonight. And having a wee look back, we'll see. Matty Jones, he's sitting down in 15th, and he's only been, the highest he's been was 7th, getting 12 points, and that was in Bahrain last week. So here's hoping that he'd be able to improve, but he's jumped into 7th place right now, so that could be good enough for him to get through anyway, up to now.
Yeah, another driver who's done really well in the back half of this season is who we're on board with right now in the Alpine, the Banter Brandon, who has won the last few races as he gets a bit of a shape there, seesawing at the wheel on the exit of turn 13 as we now ride on board through 14, 15 now. Duck into the off-cambered right-hander there, and now again losing the back end of the car on his first flying lap in this Q1 session. We've got around 6 minutes to go, and not shaping up for a good lap in the opening part of this around 45-minute qualifying session before we get into the 25-lap race a little later on. And yeah, just been super consistent in races since he's joined. When did he join? You're probably asking me. After Miami. So since Qatar, he's been with us, and hopefully will be with us to the end of the season. 3rd place in the championship lead. He wasn't even here for the first 4 rounds.
Yeah, well, that goes to show you just how much he's managed to do. And if he started it from the start, it could be quite a possibility he'd be challenging Paul Jones for the championship.
Yeah, because he won again last week. Obviously, you weren't here. Really, you did miss a really good one last week, Lee. I must admit, Bahrain was it's usually always an excellent race, but it certainly was again. Another newcomer who's down at the bottom at the moment, Canabad, is in 16th place. GT Ord as well is now retired from the session. Looks like exit of turn 13. If you see on the top of the track map there on the right of the screen, the yellow flag's there for that red car on the exit of turn 13. Now we've come to a little bit of a quiet period now as loads of drivers have come into the pits, but 3 DNFs already, so chewed them up and spat them right back out again, Lee, this Jeddah Corniche circuit.
Yeah, well, we know that even if they do go through, they won't be able to set a time at all, which is kind of funny as we're all sitting 13th, 14th and 15th, judging by their times. So yeah, Danny, Clay, Banter Brandon, Koyaks and Cannonbud, I reckon that they could all overtake them three there. And oh, there's another one. There's Prof.
Oh, oh dear. Me and Lee's boss is gone out of qualifying, so no, not great for Prof. His Koik's Gamer now makes his way into the final corner of turn 23. Obviously set that intermediate time to start off with. The only driver doing that in this Q1 session in the penultimate round of season 13. As he now comes to the line, goes sixth fastest, the driver who's sitting in the top 5 of the Drivers' Championship at the moment.
There's two on outlap right now.
Yeah, one of them being Danny, who is now just started his lap lead, just as you said that, as he makes his way into the left-right chicane of turns 1 and 2. And then we've got this slight kink to the left. There's 27 corners around this circuit. Remember, something's called Lee's Eye.
Nice job, mate's retired. I think that was in the pit lane, though. No, he's sitting at 11th. That could be quite risky. And the Looney Man as well, but he's sitting comfortably right now.
Well, unless drivers can't beat those lap times, we've only really got one driver who now potentially can go out. Of course, we've got drivers like Prof, who's set at 1:28.7. He potentially could go through into Q2, obviously not being able to take part in that qualifying 2 session. But yeah, we'll get through regardless of his lap time and his status of his car. Danny now coming through this mid-sector. As I said, 27 corners around here. You wouldn't actually think it, as you're about 80% full throttle around this Jeddah Corniche circuit. So he's taking purple sector 2, always tends to lie to us. Hopefully he's on a really good lap here as he now makes his way around turns 25, 6, and when we're going to hit the brakes for turn 27, we're then going to launch our way towards the start finish line as he gets on the right foot there. It was quite gingerly actually, as he didn't use a lot of the track. Goes 13th with a 129.069. Banter Brandon now back on another lap. Hopefully the rear of that Alpine bit more stable this time around as he swings it into turn 24.
Yep, he'll be hoping to be able to get a good time in, as he won't be able to have a chance to go again. If he does, then it's going to be quite a slow lap and he's going to be playing with fire. But he's rounding the final corner now and he's trying to get as close to that wall as possible. And now to the line, time's he going to be able to do? Here he is, coming to the line, goes forward with 127.863. Nicely done from the Alpine driver. And I could see who else. Danny, unfortunately, looks like he will be out unless he's able to get that battery charge. No, he's not. He's not got enough fuel to go again. Clay is on an out lap right now, and he's just about to come on his lap now.
Got Danny down in 16th right now. Looks like that's the best he's going to be today, as he's invalidated this lap, but it didn't matter anyway, as he'd just done one, of course, and his battery had been completely drained from the previous lap, so definitely not going to be able to go faster. Is this man going to be able to go faster, though, as he makes his way, towards the pit lane? So I think
it's just down to Clay.
Yeah, it's just down to Clay, who hasn't set a lap yet in that all-black Mercedes, of course, for 2023, back after a year hiatus last year when we went back to the Silver Arrows. But personally, Lee, I think I prefer the black Mercedes actually over the silver, as he makes his way around turn 13. But I think they really wanted to forget this Mercedes. I was going to say.
Yeah, I would say that. I mean, looking at the car, the black with the sort of light blue trim going around it, I would say it does look quite smart, to be honest. And I mean, kind of reminisces a little bit of the Lotus. It kind of reminds me of from the 70s, I think it was, like the GPS special car, where it was like a black with a gold trim though. Always had to say that car was absolutely beautiful. But here we go, we've got Clay just coming around the final corner and straight to the line. Stays over to the right hand side, surprisingly, but he goes fastest. And I didn't catch the time, unfortunately, so we're going to be able to see that in just a moment, as we'll be able to run down the standings and see Clyde at the top in that Mercedes with 127.283, going 800ths of a second quicker than Matthew here. Then we've got Prodigy and P3 Looney Man, who said earlier on it is his track here, so he done quite well, sitting in fourth. Banter Brandon in fifth. Sixth with Pibble Kennedy. Seventh was Paul Jones, Coyotes Gamer in eighth. Super Striker in ninth. Matty Jones in 10th. Taylor Danny in 11th. Lee in 12th. 13th is Nice Job Mate. 14th is Bugatti Sloven. And unfortunately, moving on, but he won't be able to participate as his car is buggered, is Prof. And then we've got all been eliminated and we'll be starting in their respective places. Will be Royal Rumble, Danny, Perm Bowden, Cannabud and GTR starting 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th and 20th. And of course Prof will be starting 15th come the race also. So moving on to the second of the three qualifying sessions. The top 15 will battle out to get through to Q3.
So as we're now through, as you said, into Q2. It's 15 minutes of this session. Of course, already the timer has started going. We're down to 14 though. That's one of those drivers who did hit the wall in Q1, was able to get through into Q2, but of course we'll be starting 15. You can only see the 14. Every week this happens. Me and Lee always think, just keep the 15th in there, but just fade their name out like they usually do. So we just know that they're starting there, but a big queue of cars coming out. It's it's just after 8 o'clock in the evening here in the UK, but it almost felt like then it was about 5 o'clock in the evening with how many cars came out at once.
Yeah, it did seem a bit like rush hour there, but Looney Man was the first out, so he's going to have a clear track ahead of him as he's just coming up to turn 13 now. I just honestly don't get these corners, to be honest. Like what we're having to be talking about earlier on, that these this circuit has got 27 corners, but a lot of them aren't really corners, I would say. I mean, it's just like, what was it, turns 24 to 26, basically. Isn't really a corner. Was it
Is it 24 to 27 or 25 to 27? Wait there, I will just tell you. Unfortunately, sorry, I've been a little bit quiet for a while. It was because I was trying to find out something I didn't find out today because I was in a little bit of a rush to get here. The poll time, the last time we were here, but I believe, from what I can see, we haven't been here in F1 23. Which is, I find hard to believe.
I thought odd.
Yeah, I think we have. I've been away a little while. My decent search on YouTube hasn't been able to find the previous time, whether it was a Monday. It was season 10, supposedly, the last time we were here, but I thought we were here before that. I looked through my notes as well, and there's nothing in there. So
It does feel sooner than
Yeah.
what it was, because I was thinking I had notes earlier as well. And Super Striker's the first one out in Q2, as he's just binned it into turn 4.
Precarious, these street circuits.
Yep, so we've already seen a few drivers fall victim to this fast track of the Jeddah Corniche circuit. How many more will fall over the course for us?
The one thing I've noticed about this circuit, Lee, which is, and I think some street circuits do it, some don't. I think in Las Vegas last week they don't really do it. Putting curbs on the inside when they're on the other side of the white line. Like there, just there. I'm on board with Pippo Kennedy, and he goes through. There's some, obviously, with the curb on the outside of the white line, but there are ones with them on the inside, which you don't usually see. You don't see them on permanent circuits, that's for sure. I'm pretty sure about that.
Yeah, it's a bit weird. It kind of like cuts off the track a little bit more, but it just looks weird, to be honest. It's not something I agree with, really.
No, but they're just painted as well, these ones.
Alright, so well, that just doesn't, that makes even less sense, to be
But
honest.
it's weird the ones they've made with the white line, but I suppose the white line is really the wall on a street circuit anyway. I'm just going off in a rabbit warren of conversation about curbs, so just ignore me. It's Bugatti Slogan does a 127.333.
We've got Prodigy coming to the line now. Seeing what the Red Bull man's going to be able to do it. Goes third with 127.534. And I think this is his teammate coming up to the final corner as well, but just ahead of him is Paul Jones in the Alfa Romeo coming to the line. We'll see what time he's going to be able to put in. He goes fourth with 127.555, and then Matty Jones with a 128.402. Next one up is going to be nice job, mate, by the looks of things.
Yeah, and he's yet to start a lap as he makes his way around the final corner to get that lap underway. So we've got Paul Jones with a 27.555 and a 27.333 for Bugatti Slogan, who's provisionally first place in this Q2 session.
Almost at a 2-2-2 difference between them.
Is it?
Yep.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Oh, don't. I have to deal with numbers a lot at work, so then coming home, having a couple, like an hour or so today since work, and then that.
Back on the numbers.
Yeah, exactly.
No rest for the wicked.
No rest for the wicked. Nice job, mate, going around turn 13. So close to the wall there, almost reminded me of the NASCAR driver from 2022 who used that good old trick on an oval of using the wall on the outside to go around the corner faster. And he made it places there as he now makes his way.
That was hilarious.
Through the S section, it certainly was hilarious.
I couldn't see how that was legal. Like, how?
It was legal, but then after that race, it wasn't.
Ah, sneaky.
It happened once and never again.
He will go down in history.
Well, he already has, to be fair. I don't know who the driver is. I don't watch NASCAR, but I watched that and I was very impressed. Nice job, mate. Makes his way to the line, goes third fastest. He was only a couple of digits off Lee. We could have had a full house there. Yep. 333, 444, 555 with a space between them. Can you imagine that? Oh, if only.
If only. But then we've got the next one up is going to be Bunter Brandon, who's just coming through sector 3 now. Yep, I do believe. I always forget where the end of sector 2 ends and start sector 3 is. There he is, trying to get the tyres warmed up as much as he can. Going out quite wide here and cutting it in. Trying to get as much speed as he can before starting his lap. You go into turn 1 and 2, being quite cautious on them curbs. On the inside of the apex, down into 3, it's a kind of a blind corner, seeing the tyre marks from some drivers earlier on, hitting it and going right off and into the wall. Coming around turns 10, 11 and 12 there. Some of them don't really feel like corners in these cars. Into 13 now, there's banking here. You want to be trying to get as close to that wall as you can. See it there. And it just reminded me of some of the drivers at Las Vegas the weekend, getting right up close to the barriers, trying to cut off as much time as possible. And he's just a way to come up to the end of sector 2 there now, 1 minute and 53. Around turn 25 and 26, just coming up ahead, and still fail to see how these are proper corners here. But anyway, coming into the final corner, keeping it in as tight as he can to the apex, and using as much of the road on the exit as possible, coming straight to the line to see what time Brandon's going to be able to put through. A 127.084. Absolutely smashed Bugatti's time there of a 27.3.
Yeah, that was a super time from him. He just got it all right there. The final corner as well was especially good, just using as much as the track as he possibly could. Yeah, I think we've got Matty Jones, who's just started his next lap. Sorry, apologies, haven't put the lap delta up. I did towards the end of the last session as well. Completely forgot originally. So, Lee.
Yep.
What are we thinking for cut-off points? We didn't speak about it in Q1, but I suppose it wasn't so easy in Q1 because so many drivers hit the wall, as well as Koik's Gamer as well now, Lee, as well, that we hadn't mentioned.
Yeah, I was looking at that and I was thinking to myself, I don't think we noticed that really. But,
we didn't at all, no.
No, so he'll be starting 14th. Clay will most likely be able to get in a time when he comes out. Just hope he doesn't invalidate Danny. I'll see if I've got him.
Lee, that was that was bad luck. You said invalidated his lap time, and Matty Jones around turn 23 at the apex of that corner just strayed over the white line, literally as you were saying it.
Well, at least he's still got time to get in and get back out and be able to get a time on the board. Well, proper. Like, to hopefully get out of the elimination zone. As I say, Lee is the one sitting in the danger zone of a 128.373. So now everybody's in the pits right now and they'll be waiting just another minute before coming back out and getting their final laps in.
Yeah, well, you want to kind of give yourself about 2 minutes, don't you, once you come out of the garage? About, 20 seconds, 25 seconds over time. Yeah, Looney Man's come out quite early, though. Didn't get my memo.
I mean, you could just take it easy now as well and be able to finish his lap just at the end and not have to go again. Either that, or he could just be doing a couple of warm-up laps first. But then again, that ain't going to really help much. But I'd say the cut-off point is going to be a 128 flat. So we're going to have to wait and find out.
So there is now a few drivers on track. 4 of them up to now. 5 including Prodigy, who's literally just left the pit lane. Bear me a minute, Lee. I think I need to cover my nose.
Yep, no worries there.
Apologies for the TMO.
Well, maybe mute your mic, please. Because I think I still heard you on there. But anyway, yeah, Winnie Man is going to be the first of the final runners to set his lap. Seeing that Brandon Bugatti and Pippo Kennedy, they're all still sitting in their garages. They feel safe, and so does Taylor Dan. Oh no, Taylor Dan is not in the lobby at the moment, but he's going to be hoping and praying that he's still going to be able to make it through. Winnie Man, though, in the McLaren, he's just started his lap. And then there's Matty Jones behind him, and Lee just behind that. We'll see how he's going to be able to do. as he's coming around turn 3 there, getting right close up to that wall around 4 and 5 here. You've got to be very cautious coming around this part of the track around turns 9 and 10, and then all the way foot flat to the 4 around turn 13 now. See yellow flag in sector 2. Who is that? That is spun. I think that's an Alfa Romeo, and that was Paul Jones, who we'll have a wee quick look and we'll be able to see if he's got any damage, and it looks like he may have. No, he's not. He's just going slow. I don't know what's happening, but right now Looneyman though, we'll get back to him as he's just coming up to the end of sector 2 now, and he's half a second up on his time, so this is looking like quite a good time. And now into the second DRS zone. Look back and we'll be able to see that rear wing of the McLaren wide open. Now it slams shut under braking here into turn 27 and getting as close to that wall as possible on the exit and to the line. We'll see what time he's going to be able to do. He's sitting 8th right now and he moves up to 4th. Goes 6/10 quicker with a 1:27.4. We'll rush back down to Lee, who's the next one to finish his lap. He stays 11th and he's not able to improve. So it all comes down to the American of Clay the Monkey, who got the fastest lap in Q1. He's just coming up to turn 13 now.
We've also got Matthew as well, Lee, who's a bit further up the road, actually going around turn 26 right now before he hits the anchors for turn 27.
Yep, well, he was up 1.1 seconds there coming into sector 3, so we'll be able to see what he's going to be able to do. Final run to the line. Is he going to get it in the 126? He does get it in the 126.7. Nicely done from him. Clay the Monkey, is he going to be able to beat that? He's just came into sector 3. He looks awfully quick there, coming to the end of sector 2. And here we go. He's got the DRS wide open. You see that red indicator light of the fuel flashing away. Now around the final corner here, getting close into the apex and almost hitting that wall. It's like he was scraping there. And now to the line. Is he going to be able to get quicker than that? Oh! Just by a ball here, he misses out on getting that quickest lap in Q2 by 12 thousandths of a second. Looneyman though, he is off to the side. And we're just waiting on him getting to the end as his fuel has run out. So, that was quite a fun end to qualifying too there.
It certainly was. I'm sure Looneyman can retire because there's no one on the lap behind him. He's never going to hold anyone up.
I think he may be worried just in case that that doesn't allow him to compete in the next session, which is kind of understandable, to be honest. As well, we all know this game can be quite unreliable at times.
This game can be unreliable at times. I think that was a little bit of an understatement. Oh no, arguably it's better than its predecessor. I can't say that word. Predecessor. There we go.
There you go.
It's been a long day. I didn't get a lot of sleep last night.
That's fair. But yeah, the last one
is Looney going to be? Looneyman is now racing the clock, ladies and gentlemen. He's got 15 seconds to wheel himself. Well, less than that now. 10 seconds to wheel himself back in. It's not going to happen. I can't even remember the last time we saw the clock run to 0 at the end of a qualifying session.
I think the last time was when it was bugged, probably, and that was probably on 22 or something, to be honest. But that is the end of the second qualifying session, and we've seen Matthew put in a stonker of a time, and then just behind him was Clay, who was only 12 thousandths of a second off. Matthew got the top time in Q2. Panther Brandon was in second in the Alpine, in third, in fourth was Bugatti Sloven, fifth Pippo Kennedy, Looneyman sixth. Nice job, mate, was in seventh. Prodigy in 8th. 9th was Paul Jones, and Matty Jones was in 10th. So they top 10 will be moving on to the third and final qualifying session. In 11th was Lee, and then 12th was Taylor Danny. 13th and 14th of Super Striker and Koyak's Gamer unfortunately did not set time. They both crashed out. So they will be starting in their respective places of 11th, 12th, 13th and 14th. So moving on to the third and final qualifying session where the top 10 will battle out for that front position on the grid. The one who's going to be the closest to turn 1 and the one who's going to be getting that fastest lap point. It all comes down to these next 12 minutes. Let's go.
Vamos, Lee, vamos. Yeah, and it's vamos for Matthew as well. First one out of the garage.
Clay's retired.
We have 9 for Q3, ladies and gentlemen.
So Clay's going to be starting in 10th then. Well, depending on if everybody gets a lap in, that is. That's quite surprising, I will say, as he was looking in contention for a pole position. Unless something is happening right now. Personally, I have no clue.
Sorry, Lee, bear with me 1 second. You're on mute, I think.
Yeah, I was soon to be back in a second, but it's all good.
Sorry.
All good. Well, Matthew is just starting his lap now, so we'll be able to see what the Aston Martin driver is going to be able to do. Of course, he's going to have to do whatever he can in order to maintain or at least improve on this gap in the driver's standings. As we do know, there is only, 18 points that are between the two of Matthew and Paul Jones. So it could all come down to the final race, depending on where these guys finish. Which a part of me is kind of hoping that Matthew gets a good result here tonight. So we could still have a championship running into the final race. But let's see, we'll get out the times up with telemetry and the lap data. Of course, we don't need the tyres up. There we go, you see him getting right close to these walls, and that's where you're going to find all your time, is making sure you've got the biggest set of cojones. As you see, he's put us at 59.6 going into Sector 2. We've got a yellow flag in Sector 3. Who'd that be? That's an Alpha Tauri of Bugatti Sloven. So let's see Matthew coming around the final corner now. He straightens up and tries to get as close to that wall as he can. To the line, going right over that white line, 126.644. Even quicker than his time just a few moments ago. Pippo coming to the line. What time is he going to be able to do it in the Williams? 27.054. Let's see who is up next. It is Banter Brandon, but he's on an outlap right now. Paul Jones, right now, our championship leader, coming around the final corner now. Is this going to be a good lap from him? Don't think so. 127.397. So that puts him in third. The Prodigy there absolutely smashes it. Goes 2 tenths quicker. Let's see who else is next. Matty Jones and Bugatti Sloven. Well, Bugatti Sloven has came back in. Is he in... No, he's spun out, sorry. Brandon on a lap now. Matty Jones, though, he's not even came out right now. Brandon, we'll get back to him. As he's just rounded at turn 14 there. And 15 coming into the chicane of 16 and 17. 18, 19, 20, and 21. These 22, 23, and then there's 24. These corners, some of them you don't even understand why they're corners like this. It's 25, and then here's 26. Just coming up thick and fast, and oh, he has to get over to the right-hand side there to dodge that McLaren of Looneyman there, who was right on the inside there, and it was kind of a precarious position that he was there, but to the line, Brandon goes 6th with 127.552. So it looks like Matty Jones and Bugatti Sloven will only be doing one lap here today, folks.
Sorry about that, Leas.
All good there. Back in two.
Yeah, it's fine. The missus came in. Apologies, guys. Anyway. Bugatti is on and out that right now. As you can see, we've had 7 drivers set laps. That's new to me because I wasn't paying attention, so apologies. Matthew on provisional pole right now. The Aston Martin's 1 and 2. The championship leader is sitting in 5th place. Not been his strongest forte this season. His qualifying, usually getting up into Q3 though, which of course is the most important of the. Yeah, he's always got up into pretty much most Q3 sessions. Not sure how many haven't got that stat to give you. As Banter Brandon now makes his way into the pit lane with just under 5 minutes left in the session. Got plenty of time to get a fresh set on, reset, go again, and hopefully get that lap time to stick and get purples in any or all of the sector times as Bugatti makes his way through turns 1, 2 and 3. Oh, and then goes into the wall. He hasn't got time to dwell on it here. He might just have enough time to get in and get back out, but he has to get on with it. And of course, he is going to be hindered by the fact he's not got any of that front wing left. You'll have to go and have a full nose replacement, as it's really rather broken now. Are we there, Lee? Are we back?
Yep, sorry there.
That's all right. So, Matthew, the only one in the 126s right now.
Yep, absolutely stonker of a time there from him. Oh, Bugatti there. Just with that lack of downforce on the front end, he almost went right into the wall there at turn 22.
I don't think he's got enough time.
I think he does. If he's going to be coming back out on the same set of tyres, then I think he will have time.
It is one thing about league racing, you'd be wondering, there's no time delay for like wing changes, which I think there should be.
Yeah,
it should cost you in all senses, I suppose. I think you should have time for refueling as well.
Yeah.
I think me and Lee play the F1 Manager game, and you have to wait. I think it's only about 6 or 7 seconds if you're not
I would.
changing tyres and you're going straight back out again.
I will say the fuel for sometimes just seems a bit like the time seems a bit much. Not a think on the manager.
Well, I always like fast forward it to the fastest
So,
one.
but
So
it's on
it's
about like
literally like a
refueling.
second.
Yeah, it's on about like refueling. Like if you're putting in like a lot of fuel, I mean, it's like what 20 seconds for like it's like a lap each, and I'm like, huh?
Yeah, I could believe that though, because I don't think they've got like fast fueling pumps like they used to.
I mean, fair point with the safety and that coming in. Into
Yeah,
that
I
now
think
with
it's genuine. I think it is similar, like when you put petrol in your road car.
Ah, fair.
So yeah,
Just seen the bill rack up.
20, yeah, they've got a little Patronus garage out the back that they wheel the car into.
Just seen the wee dials just twirl around, and it's like, oh Jesus, that's my wage gone. But right now, let's see who's going to be the first one on the lap. I think it's just going to be Pippo Kennedy. Oh no,
Really,
Lehman. Yep, he's already on a lap, coming through sector 1 now, coming into turn 4. And looking at that now, it looks like we're seeing the tyre marks there from turn 3 have started to disappear. Not something I'm used to seeing on that. Yeah.
Yeah, because in the game it's quite realistic in that sense. Actually, the rubber does seem to build up on the curbs and things, and the tyre marks. It does progress.
It's cool. Like I'm not gonna lie.
But it's not something when I'm racing I even pay any attention to. I don't pay any attention to it at all. I just see like here, I would just see green and white, and that's what I'm kind of looking out for when going into corners.
Yeah, everything just kind of seems just black and white, just tunnel vision pretty much. You're just focusing on the road ahead of you.
Yeah, I don't even. I'm sure it's so much different than when you're actually racing. But if you're racing somewhere with like Vegas, I'm sure they do kind of look around when they're going down the straights if they're on their own, especially in practice. But in the race, you said tunnel vision, and even for sim races as well, you kind of get that tunnel vision feeling. Looney Man just about takes the checkered flag there, just as he started to wave it. And is fifth fastest right now. Bugatti isn't going to set a lap. Matty Jones is setting a lap, but yet to set one right now. Is on his one and only lap in Q3. Made himself do a one-shot qualifying for this Q3 session. Who is going to be on pole? Who is going to take the extra point? Pippo Kennedy goes onto the front row. Another driver into the 126s now. It's getting faster and faster now in this Q3 session. Prodigy been on pole quite a few times this season. He's got his Red Bull teammate of Matty Jones just behind him. He does go on to provisional pole with a 126, a 127.297 for Matty Jones. Sorry, I didn't finish. 126.407 for Prodigy. Banter Brandon gets himself onto the front row. We've got drivers coming up thick and fast now. Paul Jones, our championship leader, goes up into fifth, and that's the highest he will start. Matthew goes onto the front row, but Prodigy in that Red Bull is taking the extra point and that pole position at the end of this three-part qualifying.
Yep, so like you said, he's going to be getting that extra point. So he's already been the first one this evening who's got that the first point here tonight. So going down at the final order of qualifying is Prodigy, who got that fastest lap and pole position, 600ths of a second. Behind him is Matthew. In third place is Banter Brandon. Fourth is is Pippo Kennedy. Fifth is Paul Jones. Nice job, mate. In sixth, seventh is Matty Jones. Looney Man in eighth. And ninth and 10th is Clay and Bugatti Sloven. Unfortunately, none of them being able to set times. So yeah, the end of the final qualifying session. Now, in just a moment, we're going to be moving on to the main race, where it's going to be 25 laps of racing, and I think, in all honesty, we're going to be seeing a lot of possibly medium hard runners, I would say. Possibly quite a lot of mediums at the start anyway.
Yeah. So we're going to have 25 laps to race. We'll have a look at what tyres are going on, what cars, what drivers are picking what, and we're seeing softs and mediums so far. So Lee's prediction, not just yet looking so true, but of course that could change because drivers do like to change their minds every 5 or 10 seconds before we ready up. And whilst we're readying up with the 30-second countdown, Danny on hard tyres, Lee 17th. A lot of the midfield on mediums, where everyone from first to 11th are on the mediums. Got 2 there on the softs after that, 12th and 13th. 14th, 15th on the mediums. A bit of a mix-up in that bottom half of the grid, Lee, actually. So the top 10 going very, very similar. Or very similar. They're all going exactly the same. And then we've got a bit of a mix in the bottom half.
Yep, looking like that. It looks like there's only going to be one hard runner, and that's going to be Danny down in 17th and 4 soft runners. So it's going to be a tough one. I reckon the soft runners have probably got it best right now. I reckon that there's probably going to be a safety car in the first few laps, judging by how qualifying's went, and we know how close these barriers could be. But now we're getting underway.
We've got 5 red lights, and we're away for the penultimate round of this season 13 in Saudi Arabia. And we've got a drive-through penalty for Cannabud as Prodigy goes into the first corner and makes contact with the Aston Martin of Matthew. That's not what he needed. He's fighting for this championship. We've got one driver out already. That could be a safety car. It is a safety car.
There we go. Just like I predicted, and I'm seeing both McLarens have received damage. Well, Danny has got no front wing, and the Winnieman is unfortunately out of this Grand Prix, hence the safety car.
And again, getting a little delay for the safety car notice, actually. It doesn't usually come up instantly after a couple of updates. But that's the only problem with these F1 games in recent years, noticeably since EA took over, apart from the first one, F1 2021, which I would arguably say was probably peak F1 games, actually, 2020 and 2021. Not sure if there's a bit of bias from me there, because that's when me and Lee were certainly doing a lot of racing at that time. But every time they seem to do an update, they make things better, and then other things, there's a ripple effect, and it makes other things go wrong, like just this little glitch here where the safety car doesn't pop up straight away. Not really a problem, don't get me wrong, but there's been bigger ones, much bigger ones than that in these games in recent years, which just lets it down a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, if the safety car's not came out of the pit yet, and then that's all fine and dandy, because, well, like we know in real life, it just takes that, say, 10, 15 seconds at least for the safety car to be, like, come out properly on track. But we're seeing a few drivers, and I think Cannabud is trying to serve his drive-through penalty. Unfortunately, he's going to be getting dragged in for tyres. I'm unsure if he's got damage or not. Yep, he's trying to get his drive-through done, but unfortunately it's not went his way.
No.
Danny getting his...
No, I was going to say, I've seen people make that mistake before. Yes, you can serve a 5-second time penalty under the safety car. They can do that in real life as well. I didn't actually realise that until a couple of years ago, and I was like, oh, they can serve it in real life. You all right? Royal
Rumble and Perm Boden have both got drive-throughs also, same as Cannabud. Oh, wait there. Did Cannabis... Oh, no, he's fine. He just clipped the wall there.
No cutting
Coming
corners,
around.
actually.
Yeah, he wants to be careful of that. Yeah, he just clipped the wall coming around turn 6, I think it was. I always forget what corners what there.
Yeah, this is one of the only tracks. The majority of the tracks now, I can pretty much name every corner. I always have the track map, even though I'm pretty confident with a lot of them. You don't need
Danny.
to. Danny is out.
Turn 13. And I think Cannabis might have just clipped the wall again, and he's broke his front wing. Ah. That is quite unfortunate for the Haas driver.
Yeah.
And Danny as well, who's unfortunately not had the best week, unfortunately. So, we're down to 18 on lap 2, and we've got 3 cars with drive-through penalties. We'll go and have a wee look and see what they were for. I know Cannabis was for jump start. So was Perrin Boden's and Royal Rumble. So all 3 of them.
Royal Rumble now coming
of
into the pits, and I think he's thinking he can do it as well.
But unfortunately, computer says no.
Yeah, computer certainly says no, indeed. The colour of the pit crews for Alpha Tauri, Lee, they look very strange.
It looks way too light. I thought it was just me there.
Yeah, I thought it was Williams he was going to for a second.
Kind of reminded me of, what was it, Hamilton's mess up before.
Malaysia 2013.
Yeah, he ended up going into the McLaren box. Here it is, the guy's like, wait a minute, you're not McLaren. Luckily it was next one down, was it?
They were, back then, if anyone's watching, because me and Lee would, it's horrible to think, Lee, but there'll be people watching this who were not watching F1 in 2013. When Lewis Hamilton moved from McLaren to Mercedes at the start of 2013, 10 years ago, which is absolutely crazy. Where is that time gone? Anyway, but back then it wasn't a papaya McLaren. Unfortunately, we've seen both McLarens out in this race. But back then they were the classic Vodafone livery. I shouldn't really say that anymore, should I?
It looked cool, though, to be honest.
Yeah, it did, but it was a certain phone company's livery. I'm smoothing this out nicely, aren't I? Let you not noticing. Anyway, that livery, the Vodafone livery, was a very, very nice livery, and basically it was silver, but they called it chrome, didn't they? And then you get the silver arrow, and you had 2 cars that looked very, very similar head on.
Right,
you got a little confused. Anyway, we'll get back underway as we had safety car in quite late on, actually. And we've got Banter Brandon getting us back underway now as we go on to lap 4. And the first, hopefully, true lap of racing is Matthew now really trying to get on with it here. He knows he needs to be getting the win and getting some decent points to make this a real showdown when we go to Interlagos next week. And he's just backed off. It's definitely going to be a bit of a mixture here, Lee, of keeping out of trouble but being aggressive when you need to be aggressive, where you need to take the gambles, even though they may not pay off. But can you finish this evening and go and sit on the sofa or whatever and one day, but if I'd just broken a little bit later there. So he really needs to go for it. But I'm sure people aren't going to give him an easy time, as well as Paul Jones and drivers staying very close together right now. We've got a yellow flag in the first sector. That's Cannabud, who's decided to leave us early as well. And we're down to 17 drivers.
Yeah, unfortunately, he just realised it's not been his race already. But then again, it could all change. come the later stages of the race, there would still be 20 odd laps still to go. We've seen Lee and Bugatti Slovan swapping places, and also Matty Jones and Clay there swapping places, just coming around turn 23 there. We'll see who else is quite close there. It looks like Purple Kennedy's awfully close to the back of Paul Jones there. And that gap is increasing between Matthew and Paul Jones right now. So, judging by the way things are, it could continue on to the next Grand Prix in Brazil. Brandon losing.
We've got a long way to go, and we're seeing the top two now fight. Seeing the top two now fight it out. Is Prodigy moved up into the lead? Is Brandon tried to fight him back on the outside down towards turn 4, but had to back out of it as we now go through 7, 8, 9, now turn 10. And now these two little corners here are apparently 11 and 12. Again, ridiculous. Not even a road car, that's 11 and 12. As we now go into turn 13.
Oh, nice job, mate, on the inside of Clay there. Oh, and Clay the Monkey Man just hang out around turn 13. Nicely done.
From a commentating and a spectating perspective, that turn 13 looks like such a satisfying corner around the outside. The banking, it just looks so... that's just me being weird about racing, admittedly. But yeah, no, some corners on this circuit. It's not one of my particular favourites, but there's certain corners here which are, especially in that first sector.
Right now, at the front here, the top 3 are separated by about 3/10 right now, and it looks like Brandon's going for the run on the inside there of turn 27 there, but doesn't get the traction on the exit. DRS now enabled though, so that's going to come in handy for them folks. Paul Jones though, he's managed to get within the DRS range of Matthew ahead, and this has went and made it a sort of DRS train down to 5th. So if Klein Monkey could get into it, then that could lead it all the way down to 12th place. Right now, when we look further down, seeing what else is happening. Of course, this track, you know, there isn't a lot of opportunities for overtaking.
Whoa, Paul Jones went wide and went onto the curb and got himself beached. The car just went straight on, and now he's lost some more places, and he just needs to keep it together now, keep it consistent, and hopefully he will be able to make up some places. Again, as you know, it's still a long way to go, and he definitely needs to perform more in the second half of the race than the first half, as Matthew now getting ever closer. This top 3 still separated here by around 3 to 4 tenths of a second on average right now, as Banter Brandon almost pushing that Red Bull of a Prodigy around turns 25 and 26 before we now hit the brakes for turn 27. He looks to the outside. Prodigy gives him just enough space. He now switches back. That DRS, of course, is now enabled. It was enabled on the previous straight. It's going to be enabled on the front straight here as we now make our way to the start-finish line towards lap 7, onto lap 7 towards turn 1. Matthew now moves up on Prodigy. He was a bit of a sitting duck there on the start-finish straight and has lost 2 places now.
Looking at that there, it looked like Matthew was going to go try and attempt to go down the inside of Brandon there, but he thought against it and just slotted it into 2nd place, and he'll be biding his time. Oh, and nice job, mate. He's just done what Paul Jones has done and went and turtled it on that curb, and Matty Jones also got a wee bit squirrely there with the rear end coming around that same corner of turn 7, I think.
Of course,
I always forget.
The one thing we haven't mentioned, because it's not very different, but we will mention it, the Ferrari livery for the Las Vegas Grand Prix. Safety car deployed, so we will have time to talk about it.
Ben Bowden, he's crashed turn 4. So we've had another victim of that section of track there. Of course, has been quite blinding. You need to get as close as you can to the apex of the barrier, pretty much. And yeah, unfortunately, it's not went his way. So we've had 4 retirees up to now. and Brandon's opting to pit. So it's Matthew, Prodigy, Clay, Pippo, Paul. Is he pitting? Yes, he is. Same with Matty Jones, Lee, Coix. Oh, nice job, mate. And Matty Jones just got. Nice job, mate. What are you doing? You can't pull off the Flea special. Only Flea could do that. He just got a broken front wing, and he just, unfortunately messed it up.
I'd argue say it's a Sebastian Vettel special, but there you go.
Please. But yeah, unfortunately it didn't go his way.
Well, bit of a fight out the pit lane here. Royal Rumble getting closer with Coix Gamer and Lee, actually. This is the only downside to these kind of circuits, the Belgiums, the Silverstones, Saudi Arabia, Las Vegas. When we get a safety car, it takes a huge amount of the race out because we have such fewer laps. So you're just sort of waiting here for it to all get going. And of course those laps are coming down. So it can really, really reduce the race. You can lose up to half a race sometimes with 3 safety cars, depending on the circuit. So I find that quite a big downside to these longer circuits, actually. I do like longer circuits, but...
Yeah, the safety car, in that sense, does kind of ruin your momentum, I would say, going into it, and your groove, so to speak. So, yeah, I would say I love them and I hate them at the same time, but looking at the board right now, GTR is up 16 places from 20th, but he hasn't made a pit stop yet, and he's on them medium tyres. I don't know how long they could last, possibly another 7 laps or something. Could be a good idea going for that one stop, but it could be leaving them a bit vulnerable on the restart.
So you said GTR in the pits, made up quite a few places, Lee. Or is that
Oh, he's on the hard compound now, so he's going to be at the back.
But he's going to the end.
Yep, he will be going to the end.
And we need to check. Well, most drivers now on the hard tyres, actually. Got one on the softs. Lee on the softs. Could that be a double soft strategy now at this point? We're going to have, 14, 13 laps left to go.
Well, apparently the soft tyres had a bit of insider info. The soft tyres don't last really long around here, and they go off so quickly compared to other tracks.
What are we talking, 4 or 5 laps, or a little bit more than that?
I have no idea. I think it's just a little bit more, but then again, it's...
Have you been doing some journalism, Lee?
No.
You say you got some inside scoops, so you part journalist at the moment. You getting a little side hustle on in RTG? Is this what's going on?
Just jumping in parties during practice and such. Not much to it, really.
Ooh, so I don't get invites to parties. Look at this. Look at this.
Neither do I.
Neither
do I. Just join.
Getting the inside scoop here, Mr. BT. Don't use his legal name, but I did.
That's my government name. What are you doing?
It's Mr. Macbeth, really.
Stereotype.
Gotta love him.
So,
oh, when's my roast ready? Anyway.
Why are you going to vote Tory?
We don't bring up politics on this show, please don't.
Fair, fair. None of what are Tory, just to let you know.
I was just thinking that. I'm not talking about it though. Anyway, we're going very off topic. 5-second penalty for a severe collision with Koyak's gamer there for RTG
And
Lee.
there's a big gap there between them as well.
He brings up politics for some reason I'm still trying to work out. Is these guys are working out turns 1 and 2. And now around turn 3, Banter Brandon, Clay the Monkey now up into 3rd place. Lee, where the hell does he come from? That he's up 6 places.
Yep,
Obviously
so
didn't set a lap in Q3. But Prodigy now down into 5th place after.
Oh, Royal Rumble. What's happened to Royal Rumble? I think he had the error at turn 7 again in Turtle. Nice job, mate. Going awful wide at turn 13 there, and Royal Rumble trying to stick the nose up the inside there. But nice job, mate. Managed to hold traction around the outside enough. Oh, looks like Royal Rumble was just almost going into the back of the Aston Martin ahead of him there. And when we look further up, we'll see the Prodigy and was getting quite close to Pipple Kennedy there. No, he was judging by the time anyway. Oh, Matty Jones going off also at turn 22.
And now, Lee. I'm just seeing a switch of places here for Bugatti, who's moved up into 8th place. And now Matthew getting closer and closer to Banter Brandon here. If it stays like this, Lee, and Matthew is in the podium places and in the middle, and in the podium places, and Paul Jones is in the middle of the top 10. It's going to get very, very close into that final race.
Yeah, but certainly will. We're judging by the points right now, so.
And
that's going to be
Go on,
9
sorry.
points. Judging by it right now, it's going to be 9 points on Paul Jones that he's going to be getting. So it could come down to that. If he gets the win, that could bring it down to about 14.
How many points, sorry? Bring it down to?
That'll be 14 points. That'll be bringing it down to 4 points if he gets the win and Paul stays right where he is, which I don't think he's going to be too happy just sitting where he is.
No, but he has got Koyak's gamer bearing down on him now. That DRS rather powerful, which he isn't able to use yet, actually. We haven't had it enabled since the safety car. It's just a slippery car in a straight line, obviously running quite a small amount of downforce. Unfortunately, visually, we can't see that, which is still a real shame. I think they could be able to do that. I'm criticising F123 today like no end.
Oh, Clay the Monkey, big lock up there. I think you locked up there and just went sliding out of turn 1 there. So he's went and lost a position to Prodigy there. No, he was right close up to the back of Matthew. So that's kind of buggered them up a little bit.
Oh, Clay the Monkey is out and into the wall at turn 7. Oh, sorry, turn 10. And that's a 3rd safety car in 12 laps. This has just been... It's just been so unlucky. It's a street circuit, and it seems like when anyone goes into the wall, because the curbs in Sector 1... Sector 1's the hardest sector, and it's got the harshest curbs.
At this rate, it's going to be the safety car that's winning the race.
Yeah, Bert Mylander, I think, has led the race more than Banter Brandon right now.
Yeah, I think so too.
So, we're at about half distance, Lee, and I think we've had 5 laps of racing.
Roughly about that, I would say maybe a little bit less.
now drivers are coming in. I think this is when you get one after the other, you can't ever turn up a pit stop on the second. There's something in our brains you can't. Well, there's the odd one that takes the big risk, but it always feels like a big risk actually, especially in F123s. I feel like the tyre difference is
Like
massive.
Prof and Bugatti.
Like Prof and Bugatti. Excellent choice, Prof. Excellent.
I mean, it's worth the risk. You never know. It could pay off. You just need to have a good defence around here. Then again, you're going to be vulnerable going down the straights with the DRS being available to the cars behind. So you're going to have to try and get that gap as soon as possible. It's a tough one. But the hard tyres have only done 5 laps. So after a short while, they could still be in contention for being a better tyre later on. We'll just have to wait and see, I would say.
Yeah, so the majority of the field are on medium tyres now. We're down to 15. Got 12 drivers on the medium tyres now and 3 on the hard tyres. 2 of them, yeah, they've taken a risk actually, but I don't think it's a huge risk. But the new medium, I think, will be a very good tyre for the first few laps. But arguably, it's only sector 1 where you're really using a lot of the tyre.
Yeah, I would say that it is that. I mean, the sector 1 is a bit of a bugger. Well, like this first 10 corners, really.
Yeah, well, even up to turn 13. Turn 13 is quite tricky sometimes, especially when you get into a race with the tyre starting to wear. It's a tricky corner.
Yeah, certainly, but it's just more of the sense of how quick each section of the track is. I mean, sector 1 is really fast and flowing, and the corners just come up on you like crazy compared to the other 2 sectors. I would say it's a little bit more time to breathe, and they're a bit more faster corners compared to the sort of medium speed sections. But having we look down the field, it looks like these medium runners, what's going to happen today? Tyres should be plentiful to the end of the race. Oh, Super Striker getting quite close to Koik's Gamer there.
Lee taking a risk here and going on to the soft tyre.
I think that would be quite a good strategy as well, to be honest.
Yeah, maybe. Got to say,
10 laps?
Yeah, well, it's a lot easier. It's going to be what 10, 9, 10. Yeah, 10 laps, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I think we're going to do lap 15 under the safety car, or maybe not. Maybe it'll come in this lap. Then it'll be 11. But you said earlier on, didn't you, that the soft tyre can go off quite quickly?
Yeah, so it's a bit of a... It's just one of them, what's going to happen really? Is it going to be good? Is it going to work out in his favour, having that extra grip advantage coming to start? I mean, Taylor Danny, I don't think he is here right now. He's not been able to get back into the session from qualifying.
That's a real shame as well, because he must be a Wi-Fi issue.
Yeah, most likely. I would say it's always terrible when stuff like that happens. But there we go, safety cars in this lap.
So we'll have 11 laps, yeah.
Yep, so it'll be just a way to get ready to get running again. But guys, Sloven's going to be leading us away with Prof just behind him on the other hard tyres that are just to equal as Bugatti's, and then below them we've got 11 runners on the mediums. You can hear Brandon revving that engine as much as he can, just getting it ready to go, and it looks like Bugatti Sloven's already went.
Yeah, he's gone straight out of the final
Straight out
corner
turn.
there. Yep, and Banter Brandon, though, was not fooled by that because he's going to leave Prof vulnerable because Prof didn't actually get as close to Bugatti as Banter has got to Prof as he now
Royal
does the
Rumble.
switcheroo at turn 2 and gets past as...
Royal Rumble, nice job, mate. And Matty Jones are battling out. We're going to have Royal Rumble and nice job, mate. Going side by side around turn 3. And, oh, nice job, mate. Managed to hold that around the outside. Nicely done there from him. I would say nice job there. Royal Rumble losing 2 places. Oh, and
Matthew and
managed to
Prof.
get past.
Yeah. Switching places here. Bugatti's still out in the lead, but for how much longer is Banter Brandon unstoppable in this second half of season 13? Unfortunately, not enough to catch up because I think if we'd have had one more race, Lee, and if he's going to perform like he has done the last few races, we might have had a 3-way fight into the final race. Not something we've seen in Thursday for a long time. As Pippo Kennedy now moves up on Prof as well, already looking like not stopping wasn't the right decision as most of the field stopped again for a fresh set of mediums. That fresh set of mediums on Banter Brandon, though, is it going to be able to outbrake Bugatti as Matthew now gets involved? Is he going to be able to outbrake Matthew as he tries to go up the inside as well? He's got a quick car in the straight line, tucks in behind that BWT rear wing of the Alpine as he now goes towards the outside, but eventually in the middle, backs out of it. Banter Brandon now moves up. Bugatti, of course, isn't going to give up these places. He's fighting to the end of the race now, but he has to now settle for third place. Where did Matthew come from?
Yeah, he did actually get a good restart altogether from this. Looking at this battle here, from roughly behind Pippo Kennedy, all the way down to about Matty Jones, and I would say all 4 were just battling out there, and it looks like Super Striker's having a go up the inside, the Prof at turn 13, Matty Jones having a wee look also. He's getting the better traction. Matty Jones and Prof are going to be side by side going into the chicane at turn 15, and he backs off, but now he's going to have the better line, and they're side by side again. We've got Matty Jones on the left hand side, Prof is on the right, and they make contact a little, and that puts nice job, mate, up past Prof there with that little bit of contact, and it looks, has Prof got damage? I can't see at the moment if he has or not. No, he doesn't. Just them tyres just aren't doing him any favours right now. Matty Jones, a nice job, mate, battling around to turn 27 here. It looks like Matty Jones has got the inside line. Next job, mate, on the outside. That's a battle of the traction coming up here. And nice job, mate, manages to get the traction there on the exit. And now he's looking at a view on Super Striker and the Ferrari. He's going to go down the inside of the Super Striker. And there we go. Now he's moved up into 8th place there. Nice job, mate. Doing absolutely smashing. He's on a warpath right now.
Fantastic racing there from Nice Job, mate. Whilst that was going on, you did see a sneak peek of it whilst going backwards and forwards between the two. Matthew had overtaken Banter Brandon for the lead. Banter Brandon tried to fight back again through the final corner. Out of the final corner, down the start, finish straight into turn 1, but wasn't able to do anything about it just yet, and he's had to settle for second place on this 17th lap. As Lee now trying to make up some places on that soft tyre, hoping that it will last the race. It does look like he's going easy on it for the moment, so maybe he's just trying to just soften the blow on performance for the first few laps after the safety car, and then really going to go pedal to the metal for the last few laps. Quinks Gamer now goes at the inside of Bugatti Slowman, the other driver that did not pit, who led us away after the safety car restart on lap 15, is now down into 7th place at the end of the 17th lap.
Yeah, I'm seeing it. Oh.
Banter Brandon now going around the outside before they hit the brakes for turn 1. He got that move done with the aid of the DRS. Probably used a nice chunk of battery as well, just to make sure he could get past this and now dive into turn 4.
Yeah, good. Oh, who's that? It's Matty Jones.
Oh, thank
Another
you.
victim of turn 4 there. Turn 3 there, sorry.
Thank you. I'm so glad it's a virtual safety car.
Yeah,
That's
thank
so
God.
sad to say, but I'm so happy that was a virtual safety car. Because again,
I mean,
Lee, when we're racing, it's actually pretty good. I will say we haven't mentioned it. I'm going to just apologise for anyone that's watching now, which I don't think there really is anyone at the moment for some reason. We have quite good viewers this season actually. But yeah, Monday, not something that RTG really want to be promoting for their racing. So apologies for anyone who watched along for that. Yeah. Anyway, we won't talk any more about that. But yeah, hopefully that won't happen again. What happened on Monday, it wasn't great racing standards from certain people, and safety cars again were sort of ruining that, as well as we get a drive-through penalty for speeding under the safety cars. We get a green flag to go racing again. Royal Rumble having an absolutely horrendous evening. Hopefully that man will have a better weekend.
yeah. Well,
Sorry, Matthew getting close into turn 1.
Yep, Super Striker's getting it quite close to the back, and nice job, mate. Just a quarter of a second away right now. But looks like nice job, mate. It's managing to close that gap on Bugatti Slovan. Bugatti Slovan's actually managing to do quite well on them hard compound tyres. Of course, has dropped all the way from first place to 7th, but then again, he's managed to hold it together quite well up to now. Ooh, nice job, mate. Just need to make a slight adjustment coming out of turn 12 there to make sure he doesn't hit the barrier. Royal Rumble, 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. I think he might be done. Yes, he is. That drive-through penalty just was the final nail in the coffin there.
Yeah, a real rate of attrition this evening. Lost a good amount of drivers now. 7 drivers we've lost in this race. Obviously, we have the S13 who are still racing on. Obviously, everyone does get points who finishes anyway. So, yeah, just frustration boiling over, I think. Nice job, mate. Moves up into 7th place. Banter Brandon moving into first place once again. These two switching places. We might see Paul Jones now, as he does move up into 3rd place. The top 3 in the championship are in the top 3 right now, but in reverse order, so they are in the championship. Looking a little bit better for Paul Jones now. Would be losing some of that gap. He's got that 18-point gap, but yep. I think if he gets another couple of podiums, whatever Matthew does.
Yep, well, Prodigy there end up losing 2 places. It just goes wide there coming into turn 10 there. But he lost a place also to Pippa Kennedy, who slipped it up on the outside into turn 1. Paul Jones, so judging by the way things are, this is going to go down to a 5-point difference between them here right now. So it's going to be bringing the gap down to 13 points between them going into the final round if everything stays this way. Prodigy's got the fastest lap at the moment with a 129.972, so quite a good time from him up to now. We could see all of that change. Matthew here is biding his time around turn 27. He's going to be going for it, and out of this corner here, where he will have the DRS available to him, and we'll see that rear wing open right up, reducing the drag as much as possible, and down on the inside into turn 1 he gets that position, but Banter Brandon coming back at him as they go up into the turn 3, and he's just not got the traction, unfortunately, to get that move done and get back up into the first place there.
And when that was going on, when we were going down towards turn 4 with the 2 leaders, Prodigy just got past Pippo Kennedy there into turn 1. And is now on the hunt for our championship leader right now, Paul Jones. But Matthew doing all he needs to do right now. Keep winning races and hoping Paul Jones doesn't have the best performances. But of course, with this man riding on board, the Alpine driver, Banter Brandon, had a stellar second half of the season. Potentially, Lee, because he wasn't here all season, he'd have been here for the majority. If it keeps going away like this is something else we're going to have to start talking about. Driver of the season, Lee. This man could be one of those contenders for that.
Yeah, but as he moves up into first place there with either the DRS, these two are just swapping places every lap. So, if that's the case, Matthew might want to stay behind for this lap incomplete and just try it on lap 24 going on to 25. I would say that would probably be the best time to do it. Let's have a look further down it. The whole field's starting to spread out a little bit. Prodigy.
Ooh. He went wide at turn 10 there. 10, 11, 12. Whatever sets of corners that is there on the exit towards turn 13. Yeah, he went wide, just went kind of straight on, went over the curb and went straight on back on the track, because obviously it's just tarmac all around here, so it doesn't feel any different. But yeah, went all 4 wheels over the white line, and he's done that a few too many times now, and he's got himself a 3-second time penalty. The lead again changing, Lee. It turns 25, 4 and 5, sorry, as we now go towards turn 26, and then before we hit the brakes for turn 27, these two pulling a gap, actually looking like they're working together somewhat, as Pippo Kennedy gets back past Prodigy. What I was going to say, Lee, we see sportsmanship, we see rivalry in any kind of sports, even if it's, you know, on a game, as Prodigy gets back past again. Absolutely tremendous top speed there from the Red Bull driver as he goes into turns 1 and 2. Yeah, we see sportsmanship, rivalry, even in games like this. The other thing we could see, Lee, is friendship. I know Paul Jones and Prodigy talk to each other in group chats. We know that. Is he just going to blend out the throttle a little bit? Give his friend a bit of a chance, just keeping the fight for the title? Because you get to that point. You get to that point in a little bit, don't you, Lee? Like, if you know, obviously, I haven't been around for the last couple of weeks racing, but we both aren't anywhere up there to be thinking about any wins, even, nowhere near championships. But if you were leading a championship or in second or something, like with a race, you know, in the penultimate race like we are, I don't think I'd race you so hard. But then on the other hand, I think, yeah, I would. Because it's more satisfying though, isn't it?
Exactly, because at the end of the day, I wouldn't, if you were my teammate, fair, right? But if you weren't, then I would be kind of disheartened because I didn't earn it, so to speak. But right now, Matthew could be looking to take that position right now, as he's got the DRS, but he's not using any battery right now.
No, Lee, because we're going on to the penultimate lap already. Even with safety cars, Lee, I think this race has flown by. When we're racing, this race is quick. It's a very, very quick one. It's actually not a huge amount of laps. If they went by time, there'd be more laps here, but we go by distance, not time. And there's a lot of distance covered in a short amount of time here. Obviously, as you said earlier on in the stream, you spend about 80% of your time on full throttle here as he makes his way down towards turn 13. Or these two make their way down towards turn 13. Apologies for any other drivers apart from these two fighting for the championship now. I think these two have got extreme rights for the last 2 laps, especially Matthew, obviously, and Banter Brandon fighting for the lead. But this is really now the number one story for this season, the championship fight between these two that is looking like it's going to go down to the final race of the season. Paul Jones could have won it this evening. Still can. Still got a little bit of a way to go. Not going to jinx it. Not going to jinx anyone, hopefully. But is Matthew going to get himself another win? Is Banter Brandon going to get himself another win? These two have been picking up wins left, right and centre this season. Paul Jones as well, but earlier on, back in sort of late September, early October when we first started this season. Now, on to the final lap. Gloves are off now, Lee. It's the final round.
Yep, but most certainly, and I'm on board with Pippo Kennedy and Prodigy, who the two are battling out. But of course, Pippo Kennedy could just sit casually by and just hold up right behind Prodigy and just chill out. As well, Prodigy has got that 3-second time penalty, but like you said, the battle right now is between Matthew and Brandon here. Is right now Matthew has the choice as to whether it's going to be down to a 15-point gap or down to a 10-point gap as things stand.
He'd much rather a 10-point gap. I think that would make it very exciting for a final race. It would be a few positions between them.
But wait a minute.
For the title.
Wait a minute. Matthew is running a bit low on fuel right now. You see that fuel indicator light is flashing away. So he's going to be cautious a little. But he's going for the move here.
He certainly is indeed. He's already gone for it. But is Banter Brandon relying on the drag race to the line? They go around the final corner. The Alpine almost pushing the Aston Martin through the final corner. They see the checkered flag, but who sees it first? It's a photo finish. But Matthew gets another win. He's going to make it a 10-point difference as we go to Brazil, Interlagos next week for the final round of this season.
Oh, that was tense. That was reminiscent of Brazil just there with Alonso Perez.
It was. That was so
even tighter.
That was so close. And as I said, it's going to be a 10-point difference. I can't remember the last time we had a championship fight. I don't think we've ever had a season where we've got it within 10 points in the final race of the season.
I don't think so. Oh, Prodigy, come on.
I was looking forward to this evening. When this season's been going on, I've been looking more and more forward to it. We'll talk about it in a minute. We haven't even spoke about driver of the day, to be honest. Not even sure where GT Ord finished. We might go for him. We might not. The top two were excellent there anyway.
Yeah, so there we go, the podium just there. And, well, Prodigy unfortunately just left there at the end, where he finished in P6 there. Yeah, P6 there with that penalty, unfortunately. So, yeah, even though it appears that he's down in P12, he's in P6. So, in first we had Matthew, and then it was Banter Brandon. They battling it out actually really viciously, but friendly at the same time. In the last few laps there, Paul Jones, our championship leader, in third there. In fourth was Pippo Kennedy. In fifth was Koyx. Like I said, Prodigy finished in sixth. Nice job, mate. Seventh, Pagani Sloven in eighth. Super Striker ninth. 10th was Lee. 11th was Prof. And 12th was GT Ord. Taylor Danny, unfortunately, did not compete. He just ghosted the whole time. And then we had Royal Rumble, Matty Jones, Clay the Monkey, Perm Bowden, Canabud, Danny and Looneyman all retire from this Grand Prix, which was a bit unfortunate, but we still got 25 laps of excellent racing, minus the safety car. So going into the final race, the gap between Matthew and Paul Jones is going to be 10 points, if my calculations are correct, which I hope they are. And that's going to be into the final round. Brazil, I do believe.
Lee, I was just
Yeah,
thinking, do we have a quick look back at the stream? Did something happen to Prodigy maybe in the final corner and we didn't notice it?
no, he actually finished in that position. I'm looking at it right now, and it does say it does have the flag next to him sitting in sixth place. He just it's a glitch where if you retire early, then uh, it ends up putting you as like you're retired even though you've already finished the race. So yeah, William Stacey, who was that? That was Super Striker, I believe. Yeah, he says that he finished ninth, but he's eighth. And yeah, like I said, that was with the Prodigy glitches. He retired just after he finished, took the checkered flag.
Not
You there?
sure. Yeah,
There we go.
yeah, I'm here. Sorry, I was just concentrating. We'll see if we can get every driver in for an interview. Unfortunately, we haven't done interviews the last couple of weeks. That's our bad, really. But yeah, we'll be having them this evening. So we will see if Bounce Brandon will join us. Not too sure, but I know we've got two of the three drivers on the podium. Matthew, congratulations, mate, on winning another race this season. And I'm not sure if you've worked it out or heard our stream already, but there's 10 points between the two of you now going into Brazil.
It's close. It really is. This could go to anyone. It really could. But yeah, race felt good.
Shame about the safety cars. It was mainly just, you didn't realise already, obviously I know you're kind of focusing on your own thing, it was mainly just drivers sort of making mistakes and, beaching on curbs a lot actually, and then kind of skidding off into the wall. We saw that a couple of times. But yeah, the safety cars just kind of, as Lee said in the stream, actually just ruins your flow, doesn't it? It makes it just that more difficult to get back in again.
Well, I come into this race expecting like a safety car or two. I won't lie, it's Jeddah. The walls are really close. One mistake and you're in the wall. But it does wreck your flow, yeah, it really does. I mean, I was pulling the gap, I think, with Prod and Brandon at the front to pull behind, so that was working in my favour, but wasn't meant to be. Well, it was, but like, you know what I mean? The safety car ruined it.
Yeah, and I don't think he's going to join us, but you and Brandon, whole race was stuck together like glue.
Oh, that was different, that was, mate. Did you see my battery percentage?
I didn't really know, actually, I'll be honest.
Going on to the last lap, mate, 100%.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I was just lifting and coasting behind him. I wanted to be second for that last lap. And I must add as well, I've got a broken middle finger at the minute, which is what I downshift with. So I'll take a win with that.
How did you break your finger?
I do bricklaying, and I dropped 14 bricks on my finger. Yep.
Ouch.
It was so painful at the start, but
I
just
can imagine.
zoned out.
We'll talk about that after the stream. I like doing things like this. Anyway, yeah, so pretty good race to be fair, and Brandon as well. Hats off to him because since he's been here, he's been super consistent. I said in the stream as well, if we'd have had another race, I think it'd have been the three of you fighting for a championship actually into the last race if we'd have had one more. But anyway, unfortunately for him. But no, Brazil next week is kind of more what I want to talk about now. Yeah, is Brazil next week. Great track to finish. I know I'm not sure who does the calendar for Thursday. I think it's Prof. I think.
Yeah,
He's picked a banger for the last race. I'm super excited. It's Brazil. Yeah. So how do you feel about that? Are you confident there? Hopefully we'll see a photo finish between you two in the last race, like you did this season, like you did this race.
Yeah, Brazil, brilliant track I think for racing, overtaking, but one thing is it's a DRS train I think for the whole race, so that can get a bit annoying sometimes. When you're stuck in that, you're not getting out of it. But it's not my strongest track, but it's not one that I hate neither. I enjoy it, but I'm just not the best at it. So yeah, a banger to finish on.
And hopefully you two will give us a bit of a blockbuster finish. And talking about that,
Try my best.
yeah, hopefully. So talking about you two, we'll move on. So we'll see you next week, Matthew. And I think regardless of what happens next week, we'll both have you back to have a chat anyway, obviously, wherever you come, if you want to.
Yeah, thank
anyway,
you.
that's all right. So, and good luck as well. Paul, well done, mate. It was looking a little bit, not so good for yourself in the first part of the race. Obviously, it's kind of dropping back a little bit, but then I said, I said in the stream, long way to go, and you kind of got that, in that second half of the race, you always seem to build up in the race, and another podium this season. So must be quite happy with the third.
Happy with third. I mean, I knew Matthew had a lot of battery left on that last lap, so I knew exactly what he was doing. I was just hoping he'd get a bad exit out of one of the corners, but unfortunately it didn't happen. But yeah, I mean, I just don't know where. Like, since I said to the lads the other day, since the update on Monday, my game just feels very strange. I just can't seem to feel the grip as much. But yeah, I thought this second half of the season would be my strong point, but it's turning out to be a bit of a negative for me at the minute. So 10 points. I mean, I think Chuck are back next week, so that's a few other drivers in the mix. So yeah, it could be quite hard, especially with someone like Chuck could come back and play the team game. Unfortunately, for me, I don't have a teammate in the fight in that sense, so it might be 2 against 1 next week, possibly.
Yeah, it's not something I thought about actually. Thinking ahead already. How do you feel about Brazil? Is it one you?
I wouldn't say it's one of my strongest tracks, but last 2 races we've been there, I've had decent pace. I mean, I don't know if you seen the race the other week on the Mondays. I was literally just sitting behind Robbo and Josh while they were battling, but I made Josh, I think, got a bad exit, and I just slam on, and I've sort of overloaded the rear end, and I've sort of lost it, and ended up finishing 6th. But up until that point, I had decent pace. So obviously, I know what I have to do next week, finish in a specific position as long as Matthew don't get fastest lap and the pole position. So it's the only problem I've got next week is I go to Rome on Monday, so I'm going to have literally no practice until I get back on the day. So hopefully
well, we finish here in 2 minutes, mate. So you've got you've got an hour maybe to give it a bit of a go. Nice going to Rome. That's nice.
Yeah, can't wait. But yeah, it's not ideal timing because I think Matthew's probably hoping my flight gets delayed, which it wouldn't surprise me. But
what days you come back?
I actually come back on the Thursday.
Oh, that's taking a risk.
Delay.
So that's why Monday was already a write-off for me, because I knew I was going to miss. Obviously I had that disconnection with my wheel, and then obviously that issue when I knew I was going away. So Monday was sort of a testing season, whereas this one was the one I sort of wanted to put all my effort into. So yeah, 10-point lead. It's going to be close. Like I say, Matthew's quick everywhere. He's definitely quicker than me this half of the season, so it's going to be close.
It certainly is. Me and Lee are certainly looking forward to it. I said since me and Lee have been commentating on whatever days we've been commentating on, I don't think we've gone to a final race with 10 points between 2 drivers. So, well, Chuckle has just reigned supreme over Thursday for far too long. So thanks very much, gents. At least we're not having another Chuckle win.
Well, to be honest, that sounds funny. That was actually one of the reasons why I came in. I thought I'm gonna give him a bit of a challenge, but then obviously Matthew's challenging me now, so it's like, I mean, I think it was 31 points a few weeks back, so I've sort of blown it a bit. Made a bit of a mess at Australia. I had to pit. The tyres were going. I probably could have stayed out and possibly got second, but I guess we'll never know. But yeah, it's going to be close. So I'm a bit twitchy about next week because, like I say, I can imagine there's going to be quite a lot of people that are quite quick around there, so other people possibly could have a say in it.
Okay. Quick question then. What time's your flight? UK time.
Are they ahead? I can't remember if they're ahead.
They're ahead. They're ahead an hour. I'm out of interest here. Like how much time Paul's got to play here. Like how delayed can it be?
So it's a 3-hour-ish flight. It says 9:15, but I think that's their time.
Yeah, so 8:50. Oh, you got time.
Oh no, I've got time. It's just like I say, it depends. I just need a bit of practice just to get the feel again. But yeah, it's going to be close. So like I say, Matthew's been quicker than me this second half of the season. I mean, I've I think I led the championship from second race, I think. So it'd be a bit gutting to lose it on the last one, but if Matthew wins it, then fair play to him because he's been rapid the whole season.
Well, I think like today, I think Matthew needs to be winning really, and if you get on the podium, you've got a very strong chance of being crowned next week. But obviously, it kind of gets a bit more risky when you get down to like fourth, fifth.
No, that's... My hope is he doesn't win it. That's my hope, and I just stay. If he's going to finish in front of me, which he's got the pace at the minute, I just hope I can stay near as possible to him. But the deficit isn't that much, so that's my aim. I mean, to be fair, I've gone into the last couple of races with damage limitation in my head, which I shouldn't really do, but it's sort of hindered me a bit.
Right, just no pressure, lads. Just don't let us down with a front row start, okay? Q3. I don't mind which way around it is. I've got no preference.
I'll try my best. Matthew will definitely be there. He's rapid in qualifying. Stupidly quick.
Just know Max Verstappen, Lewis Hamilton's at turn 4, please. That's all. No, do actually.
Oh god. Yeah, no, it's gonna be close. It's gonna be quite a nervy one, to be honest. But like I say, if Matthew wins it, then fair play. He's been rapid all season. If I win it, then I've been Mr. Consistent. So we'll both deserve it basically. Whoever comes out on top.
Okay, well there you go. Actually, it's Mr. Saturday versus Mr. Consistent. We've actually given you two both nicknames in the league. So there you go. So, wow, potentially Mr. Consistent. Because Matthew in 22
not the last race.
Yeah.
I was pole position master me in 22.
Yeah, no, you're quick in qualifying. Like I can't get near you. Like so, my best shot is literally get as close as I can, and then even if there's the DRS drain, I'll take it just to stay with you. And then obviously if I can make some moves, but we'll see.
You're gonna have a chat with your teammates about toes this week.
Yes.
Yeah, Chuck's coming back at the right time for you, Matthew, isn't he?
He is the perfect time.
Oh God! And then Chuckle's getting involved. What's going on there? Getting ganged up on.
We've got the constructors, haven't we, to fight for?
Yeah, Chuckle's not. He's not your teammate.
Do you know what? I'm really bad for that.
I
never talk about constructors. Don't even know what's going on with that, to be honest.
Yeah, Aston Martin are winning it.
This could be back-to-back constructors for me and Chuck in Thursdays.
Oh yeah, I think you already are.
Are we?
Are you not?
Yeah, I think you've won it.
I think you already are now. Yeah.
Well, Chuck, there you go, mate.
I think
back to it now,
that's not
you.
confirmed. I'm just taking a really good guess, but I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, we'll see you next week, and as I said, if you both want to, hopefully whatever the outcome is next week,
definitely.
That we'll have a chat with both of you because it's been a very good season, even for whatever happens next week for both of you. So. Yeah, anyway, thanks very much for watching. Lee's been sat there quietly, patiently waiting, listening along. And good luck as well, Paul. Can't miss you out as well. I've got no commentators' curses next week, Lee. Nothing. Yeah. You did one to, I think it was Coix today. Was it Coix? No, who was it? No, Matty Jones, wasn't it? It was Matty Jones in qualifying. He literally said he wasn't talking about him, but he literally said track limits, and then Matty got track limits as he was saying it. In qualifying, so yeah, it's Lee that's got to watch out next week. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. It's goodbye from me, and make sure that you check out next week's race for the championship fight and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And put in the comments who you want to win next week. Anyway, we'll see you next time. It's goodbye from me and from Lee.
Peace out.